It's the weekend and you have financial questions that need answering. That can only mean one thing. It's time for Jill on Money, the show that takes the mystery out of your finances. Here's your host, Jill Schlesinger.
Welcome. It's the Jill on Money Show. This is the program that takes the mystery out of your financial life, and we do that by encouraging you to do a tiny bit of work. Just go to our website, jillonmoney.com, and click the Contact Us button. And if you'd like to appear on the program live, you check the box, and executive producer extraordinaire Mark Talercia will do everything else. Let's start the program right now with Cindy. She listens to us from North Carolina. How are you? What can we do for you today?
Okie doke. So I am 49 years old, single with no kids. And 2 weeks ago, I was laid off.
Oh, no, I'm so sorry.
Yeah, it wasn't completely out of the blue. Some things happen. I'm in sales. When you lose a big account, a company's getting bought out. There are a lot of things going on. Mm-hmm. But in a way, it kind of worked out because in the back of my mind, I was wondering if I could somehow make things work by living off my vacation rental property income. So that's why I am calling in.
All right. Well, you have a lot of control over this because we're going to find out a little bit more about you and how much money you spend and all that fun stuff. So you said you're 49, you're single. Does anybody rely on you? Do you have parents or siblings that rely on you?
Nobody. A golden retriever.
Oh, well, that's good. And not an inexpensive habit. Okay. Yes. So, Cindy, how much were you making before you got laid off?
I was around 140, 150.
Okay. And that was a good salary for you. Like that was a good chunk of money.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's talk about the amount of money before we get into the real estate part. Let's talk about the money that you have socked away. What have you saved in retirement accounts?
So I have it broken down into 4 buckets. So I have a money market at 5.3. I have 90,000 in that.
Okay.
In my 401k, the total is 186. 33 of that is Roth.
186, 33 Roth. Okay. Got it. Keep going.
I've got a brokerage account that I just got into thanks to you guys. I had it stuck in a money market and I was too scared to do anything with it. And you said do it. So to other people. So I did it. So there's 244,000 in brokerage.
That's a lot.
You got a lot of cash.
Yes, my goodness.
I know. Y'all probably looked at my question and was like, stop doing that.
No.
And then the last thing, which I still am not completely know what this is. It was from my very first job back in 99. I have a qualified cash balance of 51,000.
A qualified, so an old pension plan that's now been converted to a qualified cash balance plan, and it's 51, you said?
Yeah, 51. And then it gave a benefit view and a pre-99 benefit view at 65. A per month amount.
Okay. Well, that's an interesting thing. I mean, is it still accruing? In other words, is there interest is it still getting bigger every year?
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the rule is that you can touch it at what age?
I believe 65.
Okay, that's your age. Okay. Because it could also be that we just take that and roll it into your retirement, into your pre-tax retirement. We'll see. Okay. So 401k, brokerage, money market, and this qualified cash balance plan. Okay. So that's it for the money you've socked away, right?
Yes.
Okay. Next, your primary residence.
So the primary residence, the value is about 300, 310, and there's no mortgage.
Wow. You don't like debt, do you?
Well, there's a backstory. So yeah, no, I don't like that.
I like a backstory. But okay. So, and then you said there's a rental home.
Yes.
Okay.
And so that one
is worth
680.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Does that have a mortgage?
It does not.
Oh my gosh. Do you use it at all or is it fully rented?
Oh, no, it's for short-term rentals, and I'm down there every 6 weeks. I manage it myself. I have it on a platform, so I love it. I used to go down there because I would work down there.
Uh-huh.
The job that I had allowed me to open accounts wherever I wanted to. So I would open them there and then my primary home.
Yep.
So yes, I do use it a lot.
Okay. So you use it. And your question is, can we live off some of the, so what did you do? I mean, it's a little bit different now. Would you think about doing this as a full-time rental then? Like, are you thinking like, I want to turn the spigot on and get as much money out of this as I can? Is that what your thought is? Or do you still want to use it partially?
No, I still want to use it partially. And the numbers that I had, so I bought it in 21. So I have 3 years of history with it.
Okay.
So last year, 2023, it grossed 57. The cost, everything, taxes, regime, all that stuff is about $1,800 a month.
Are you saying $5,700 a month? Or are you saying $57,000 for the year for the gross?
It grossed $57,000 a year.
Okay, and the costs are basically $1,800 a month.
Yes. So,
and that's it. That does not seem like
right?
a lot of money. So why is that? I mean, is it a house that was like brandy new, or like that does not seem like a lot of money for your costs.
Well, you haven't had a South Carolina girl, so maybe our taxes are lower.
Maybe.
I mean, the yearly non-owner occupied taxes aren't bad. Like $6,000 a year. Regime is $500 a month.
So this is essentially this place, this rental net to you is about $3,000 a month.
Yes.
Okay, great. So
if I continue, obviously doing the 57, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So what else do you think is going to happen for income? Like, do you want to do part-time? Are you saying to me, I want to just like change my life and I don't want to work in the same way? Would you earn some money to support yourself?
If I need to, yes, of course.
But there's the old, I need to. You're so young.
I know, but I've been in sales since I was 22. It's so stressful. I would totally do something to earn a little extra money, of course, but I don't want to continue doing sales.
All right.
So, unless I have to.
Okay. I'm not going to wait a second. I'm not going to say you have to yet. So,
well,
what do you think when you look at this? Okay. What do you think you need to live on? Like we know you got $3,000 coming in. So what's the rest of your spending look like?
So I did a really deep dive in that, and with a little extra cushion, I can do $2,400 a month.
You got it
with my primary home, and then of course the vacation property is $1,800. So together, I would.
But
need
what I'm saying, like I need to know, like for leave the rental property out of this to live your life. Forget about the rental property. The house to support you on the primary, your food, your utilities, all that, plus a little fun, maybe a vacation here and there. What are your expenses running?
$2,500 a month.
Stop it. We'll get back to Cindy in just a moment. If you would like to join us and ask a question, just go to our website, JillOnMoney.com, and click the Contact Us button. Don't forget to check the little box if you'd like to come on the air live. You're listening to the Jill on Money Show, and we will be right back.
Back to Jill on Money, where Jill Schlesinger helps you take the mystery out of your finances.
You're back. It's the Jill on Money Show, and we are here trying to help you make better financial decisions. If there's something going on in your life that may touch or impact your finances, just give us a holler. Go to JillOnMoney.com and click that Contact Us button. While you're on the website, you can check out all of the content that lives there, including our free weekly newsletter, which comes out every single Friday. Right now, let's get back to Cindy, who's on the line from North Carolina. If this works for you, if you can really live, again, if you're netting $3,000 a month on the rental, your expenses are $2,500, And that $500, I mean, I'm going to basically say you break even, right? Because you have to pay some.
Correct.
You're going to have to pay. All right. So you would break even. But my question to you is, that's tight. That's still tight to me. So could you get a job? I'm not saying go like high sales pressure again, but you don't have to make 140, 150. Do you think you could get a job making 40 or 50 grand a year?
Yeah.
I mean, it's just, but I feel a tiny bit like you're so young and you've done a great job saving. I really get it. Okay. So it would just be nice for you never to have to touch your brokerage, your 401k, that cash balance plan. I would love it if you did not have to touch that at all. Okay. And that we let that just keep clicking along. Right. But that for the next, I don't know, 5 years, I think having a little bit of money coming in. Also, you're so young. What are you going to do? Or maybe what you should do is go work for like a management company, like a real estate management company down where your rental is, and say like, hey, I know how to do this. Do you need some hands? Like there are jobs that are open that people are reluctant to take because they're not in the situation where you are, which is like, I have some money and I have some cash flow and your expenses are low. So I would think that doing a job, something, just a little something, little side hustle. What else do you like to do, Cindy, from South Carolina? What else is like a fun thing that you like to do? Maybe we can try to figure out a side hustle from it.
Well, my girlfriends know I love being around animals. So but I can't make a bunch walking dogs.
Well, wait a minute. Mark, didn't we have a woman who walked dogs and she made a ton of money? It was ridiculous. But
and you don't need to make a ton.
I'm just saying like a little bit of money, $1-2 grand a month. You could totally do that. I really would like to encourage you if, your question was when you came on the air, can I live off my rental property income and do something part-time? The answer is yes. And so I think that's a possibility. And it's because of you. It's because you live below your means, that you've been socking money away, that you've been making your 140, 150. But you know what? I feel like you can make this work. Go out and get something. Go figure it out. I know you just happened 2 weeks ago. So did you get any severance or anything like that?
Yeah, 2 months of severance and 3 weeks of vacation that I hadn't used.
Okay. And so you have that as a lump sum. Did you get it already?
They're paying it out like I'm still working there. So I'll get it every 2 weeks.
So maybe while you're getting paid out, look around, see what floats your boat. Also, again, I hate to like beat a drum that I always beat, which is not that, I don't feel like everyone has to work, but I do think like it is nice to feel engaged. And I think that it would be nice for you to see what it is like for you to work without that same pressure. I think salespeople are remarkable and it is a hard job. And so you could almost take like a sales adjacent kind of job, like just because you understand the process, you must be amazing with people. So, that sort of also lends itself to kind of any job where you have to interact with the public. There are a lot of jobs where you're interacting with people. So I would talk to some of your friends, and maybe it is like, maybe you go work at a vet's office and you're like, you know what? I could run your desk for you a couple hours a week, or I could do this, whatever it is that floats your boat. And I would research that. That's your research project. Now, the other thing that is interesting is that where's your brokerage account held?
Fidelity.
So maybe when you're done with work, one of the things that you might want to consider is taking your old retirement account, rolling it over. So you'll have two accounts, right? You'll have a traditional IRA and then you'll have a Roth IRA. Just make sure you get that like to like, right? So the 33 grand that's in your Roth 401k, make sure that rolls into your Roth. 186 goes, and the 150 goes into the traditional. Okay. And then how are you investing in the brokerage account? Index funds, ETFs? What are you doing?
Just an S&P index fund.
Anything safe? Any safe stuff in there or not?
What do you mean?
Bonds? Maybe a bond fund?
Oh, no. Do I need that?
Mark, you want to kind of weigh in on that? 100% in stocks? She's very risk averse, 100% in stocks.
I love the reaction right now. Who needs that?
Yeah, I think you should have some money that is in some bonds. And maybe you'll put it into your 401k. Maybe your 401k will have a little more bond. So if you're 100% in stocks, by the way, have some of those stocks made, have some of the positions made money versus lost money? Is there anything is there anything a loss in there, or is it all in the S&P 500?
No, I mean, I literally just did it within the past few months. So right now there's a gain. I mean, there's not much.
It's unbelievable. Okay. Yeah. So Mark, what do you want to do? Should we take some gains, or maybe next year? Wait a minute. I have an idea. The market will probably just dump out from under your feet here. So just
don't say that.
It will at some point. But next year, you're not going to have income that's beyond, you're not going to have a lot of income. So maybe next year, what I would do is I'd look at that brokerage account. Okay. And I would consider maybe selling some of your position out, because there's a very fun little factoid, and that is that when you are single and you make less than $47,000, your long-term capital gains rate, although I'm not sure she's held it for a year. We have to wait till a year is up. But maybe next year, at the end of next year, we think about taking some of the money in the brokerage account, selling, not paying any tax, and buying some bonds. But for the 401ks, you got to put some bonds in there. You have to. So just use, like, there's a Fidelity. What's the Fidelity ETF or bond fund, Mark?
I don't know what the ticker is, but they have a total bond fund.
So I think I just really think that it would be important for you to have some risk mitigation, as we like to say.
Because you're 49, not 29. That's why.
Yeah. And also, I mean, you might need that brokerage account money at some point. I mean, I know you got the big money market, but and then I would talk to the place where you have that old cash balance, and maybe you should just roll that into your traditional IRA and then have it all in one place. I'm not sure. Yeah. Mark, is there any reason to stay in that cash balance plan? Isn't it like kind of sort of stopped in motion at this point? You know what I mean?
I would get in touch, and if she can move it, I would just consolidate.
I would too. It would make it easier for you. Do you have, you're single and you have a dog. Who would get your money if you drop dead, God forbid? Sibling?
That was my question. I want to use it all because I don't want.
Good. But we still have to have a document that says what happens.
True. Yes. And I haven't done that. It would go to nieces.
All right. The ones that kiss your tush, don't just give it equally. I want there to be a competition to see who is nicest to you. All right, just put it down in a document. The thing is, the retirement account, that account would distribute just based on whoever you've named as a beneficiary, maybe the niece and nephew, whatever. But you got a lot of money in property, right?
I know.
And what would happen with that? I mean, you got $1 million in real estate. If you've got something going on in your financial life, you are considering a big purchase, you're wondering about retirement, you're starting a new job, you need help with your benefits, we would love to help you out. All you need to do is go to our website, JillOnMoney.com. And wherever you're navigating on the website, the Contact Us button will be in your upper right-hand corner. See how easy that is? While you're on the website, don't forget to check out all the content that lives there. We've got our great subscription service. We just had an amazing webinar focused on real estate. You don't have to be left out. Join Jill on Money Live for $35 for an entire year of special bonus content and live webinars. We'll be right back.
Do I invest here? Should I put my money there? Jill Schlesinger can help you. Back to Jill on Money.
You're back. It's Jill on Money, and we are answering your financial questions. Let's go to an email. This is from Popeye. I like that name. Popeye says, I'm 64. I'm going to be 65 next year in June of 25. I heard if I were to take Social Security now, my 12 and 15-year-old daughters would get $1,800 a month also, not each, but to split. Is it worth it to me? I'm also a retired Navy veteran, so I have that income, and I'll continue to work part-time, which is what I do right now. All right, Popeye, I went to the Social Security website, and here's what it says. When a parent receives Social Security retirement or disability benefits or dies, their child may also receive benefits. Under certain circumstances, a stepchild, adopted child, dependent grandchild. Okay, to receive those benefits, listen to this, Mark. The child must be unmarried and younger than 18. So that you guys got that. So the benefits so the question is, do you need that? And also, if you trigger your own benefits, then you're going to see a reduction in those benefits for your entire life. So if you look at retirement benefits, again, it's possible, but I think maybe you would be better off having more money coming in and essentially being able to have that money to help them. But I don't know if they need it or not. So I don't know. But that's the rule. And I didn't know that rule, Mark. So I learned something. Okay. So this next question is from Robert. And Robert writes, Jill and Mark, I recently found your podcast. I love them. I am in full binging mode. I love that. Thank you so much, Robert. I'm not sure if you've discussed this topic, but my question is, how do I value my pension? My wife and I are 59 and 58. We have $600,000 in retirement savings. 150 of that is Roth, 450 is the pre-tax. However, we both work for local government agencies and we're both eligible for a pension. Our combined pensions will be about $7,200 a month. It's amazing, isn't it? All right, I'm going to give you back of the envelope here, Robert. Consider this. When you retire, like if you had, say, a bunch of money that was in an account, and I'm just going to call it as if it were, like in a retirement account. What many people in the planning world will do is they'll say, how much money can I safely withdraw from this account? It's the safe withdrawal rate. And, when I think of that number, some people use a number that's like 4 or 5%. I'm kind of a wimp. I kind of go 3.5 to 4%, maybe 3 because I'm so wimpy. But let's just say we're saying 4%. Okay, let's say that would be the right rule. That would suggest that if you had $1 million, you could pull out 40 grand a year safely and not run out of money. And here you're telling me that you have much more than that. You have $7,200 a month. So one way to think about that would be that the value of that, again, approximately, and this is very back of the envelope, is like as if you guys had more than $2 million socked away, you would then draw on. So that's why I think it's funny when people are like, well, I'm a teacher, I don't make a lot of money. Well, wait a second. You do, because you get some of your money today as a actual wage, but then you get a whole chunk of money later that's a guarantee in the form of a pension. So if your local government agency is, being, especially if like they're also contributing to this, I think this is quite a valuable benefit. So just think about this. You're almost 60 years old. You have 600 grand in retirement plus another 2 million or so. That's how I would value it. James received a notice from a fraud protection service that his Social Security number was found on the dark web as part of a national public data breach. I got a lot of notes from people who got this.
I got all these notices that my number was exposed.
Yeah, everybody got that. So it says, my credit bureau records are already frozen. I've let my employer know in case they see anything unusual. That's very smart. I'm going to contact my accountant, my savings and investment providers, the SSA. Is there anything else I should be doing? No. I mean, listen, I don't understand why anybody would have anything but having a frozen credit record. Did you do anything else, Mark, in terms of your own?
No, freezing your credit is really, really the best line of defense that you can possibly take.
And I would freeze the credit for anybody you know.
Including minors, which is what this...
he's got a 7-year-old. He's got 2 7-year-old children. Freeze their records as well. Isn't this terrible? So
The-
annoying to me.
When it comes to the minors, it's a bit more cumbersome because you got to prove that you're the actual parent or guardian. Just a few more documents that you got to provide, but you should still do it.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think it's just best practice. Okay. So Gina says, what's a taxable brokerage account? When should you use it? I know it's separate from a 403B. It's separate from savings. It's separate from a CD. All right. You know how you have this 403B account? It's just an account and you invest in stuff in it. A taxable brokerage account is just an account you would open and buy stuff in. Now, you can buy stocks, individual stocks. You can buy individual bonds. You can buy mutual funds. You can buy exchange traded funds. The money that you put in there, it's already been taxed. The money that is generated in terms of interest is taxable, both at the federal level and if you have a state that levies a state income tax at the state level. But the thing about a taxable brokerage account is that it's liquid. It's available to you. There's nothing you have to worry about. Well, has it been open for 5 years? That's the Roth IRA. But, a lot of people have come down hard on me, Mark, to say that I have not been stressing to people that they can always put money into a Roth IRA and whatever they put in, they can take out as long as the account's open for 5 years. That is also possible. But a Roth is different than a taxable brokerage account. It's you actually have better tax treatment with a Roth. But I love a taxable brokerage account because it's liquid, it's accessible, and you can use it whenever you want. If you have a financial issue, just go to our website, JillOnMoney.com, click the Contact Us button, and we'll get your note.
.401ks, IRAs, refinancing, she covers it all. Back to Jill on Money with Jill Schlesinger.
You're back. It's Jill on Money, and we're helping you navigate your big financial choices in your life. And a lot of those choices have to do with decades of behaviors that have led to this moment. We're not going to judge those behaviors. We are going to help you get to where you want to go next without wagging our fingers and judging you. That's what we do here. We just help you out with where you are today and where you want to get to tomorrow. Now let's turn to an email. This is from D. I am in my early 60s with about $1.5 million in assets. Do you think putting $250,000 in a taxable muni 12-plus year bond ladder is a good idea at this point? I'm taking a sabbatical, and so the taxable bonds were recommended over tax-free. Well, yeah, absolutely. If you are in a low tax bracket, even if you're in a high tax bracket, you really need to check out the tax equivalent rate of return when you're weighing whether you're going to go for a muni versus a taxable bond. So that's number one. Okay, number two. What else is going on in this portfolio? You said $250,000 as part of $1.5 million, but is everything else a stock investment or in a stock mutual fund or a stock index fund? I mean, actually, you would only be having about 17% of that money in a taxable muni bond ladder, which seems pretty reasonable to me. But I'd love to know what else is going on, Dee, and what your plans are in the future, because I think that could also potentially make a difference in your life. Another question that I would ask is, if you've got a lot of tax deferred money, would it be worth your while to do some Roth conversions when you're taking the sabbatical? That's another thing. Maybe we'd want to pull some of this money aside and pay the tax that's due this year while you're in a lower tax bracket. In any event, I think that a taxable muni bond ladder could make sense for you. Love to know what else is going on. This next question is from Ruth in Michigan, who writes, the good news is my daughter has pension options. Is there such thing as a bad pension? Well, you know what? There could be a bad pension, the kind that isn't funded. That's not a good one. Okay, so here's the question from Ruth. is it better to put more money into her 403b and 457 plans? I would appreciate learning what the differences are between a 403b and a 457 account. We need some education on what these options mean. Okay, both a 403b and a 457 are retirement plans for people who work in big public service or government jobs. Like a 401k, these plans allow you to put money away either pre-tax or post-tax, so it's either a traditional or a Roth option, and you can put up to $23,000 into the plan, an extra $7,500 if you are over the age of 50. Now, there are some slight differences to these plans to a 401k in that they have special provisions for making additional contributions on top of the basic contributions. So pay attention here. With a 457, you can make an additional contribution up to a grand total of $46,000 this year if you are within 3 years of your normal retirement age. With a 403b, you could contribute an extra $3,000 per year, but it requires that you have a tenure of 15 years and have contributed an average of $5,000 or less per year during that time. Some of these plans have matching contributions, some of them do not. So here's the deal. One other thing that is possible is that the plans could have different rules around taking a loan. I believe that a 403b allows for a loan, but a 457 does not allow for a loan. The long-term effect of all of this is that you can put a ton of money into retirement if you work at one of the organizations that offers both a 403b and a 457. But let's find out a little bit more about Ruth's daughter, who is, she writes, 31 years old, and she has a PhD in the sciences, and her job will pay about $75,000 annually. She is a passive investor. She's a saver, not a spender. She has been living on a $24,000 stipend for the last 7 years in grad school. She has no student loan debt. She's got a car that's paid for. She's got about $11,000 in a Roth IRA. She will be living alone. Rent is $1,000 a month plus her electric. And she has about 10 grand in savings and checking. In her case, the college is giving her two options. She has to choose one and then cannot change it going forward. So she would have TIAA, which I believe is the 403b. She would contribute 4%. The college would contribute 14%. She can also invest additional money in a 457 plan. Also, she has this other option, is that she can go with the Michigan Office of Retirement Services, which is a pension plan. Okay, here's what I think. I think that for right now, it is very difficult for us to understand whether or not your daughter at age 31 is going to spend her career at this one organization. It's really hard to choose. So what I would say is, I think that TIAA sounds perfectly reasonable. She could always bump up her contributions later into her 457. And also she can put more money into savings, and she can actually, while she's still young, certainly be using a brokerage account because maybe she'll want to buy something or do something else with her money. So I think TIAA, also I would make sure that she keeps on this in terms of thinking about these different kinds of plans if she were to go to a different university as well. So just keep that in mind. If you need our assistance, another set of eyes and ears on a situation, just give us a holler. Go to JillOnMoney.com and click the Contact Us buttons in the upper right-hand corner. Don't forget to check the box if you want to join us live. Jill on Money will be right back. You're back. It's Jill on Money, the program that helps take the mystery out of your financial life. If you've got a question, if something's keeping you up at night, or maybe just nagging at you, it doesn't even have to be a big problem. It could just be an issue that continues to come up in your life or in your relationship with your spouse, anything that is remotely financial, we would love to help you. Go to our website, jillonmoney.com, and click the Contact Us button. Okay, this is an email from Greg who writes, my mom put my name down as the co-owner of her California house that is 60 years old. Wow. She inherited it from her parents. I heard that she should instead leave me the house in her will to avoid paying capital gains tax. Is this true? Well, Greg, here's how this works. When someone gifts you an asset, whether it's a house or a stock, they are being very generous. We get that. But they may not realize that they are also gifting their cost basis in the house. So in the case of your mom, she inherits a house from her parents, which means that, let's say they bought it for $10,000, and at the time that she inherits the house is valued at $100,000. It's as if she purchased that house at $100,000. That would be her cost basis. That's called a step up in cost basis. Let's go one generation beyond that. She now puts you on the deed. That means that if you go to sell the house after she dies, it's as if you purchased the house at $100,000. You wouldn't get that step up in cost basis, which is why it is better to inherit a house or any large asset at death, because you are then entitled to a step up in cost basis to whatever the value of the house is and the date of death. I think that you may want to go to an attorney to see if we can undo this gifting and get back to a plan whereby if you were to inherit the house at her death, you would not have to pay a capital gains tax that would be based on her cost basis. It would be your cost basis. I hope that helps. If you've got a problem, you've got an estate issue, give us a holler. JillOnMoney.com is the website. We'll be right back.
It's the weekend, and that can only mean one thing. You're listening to Jill on Money, the show that takes the mystery out of your finances. Here's your host, Jill Schlesinger.
Welcome back. It's the Jill on Money Show. We're answering your financial questions. Let's talk to Mary, who's on the line from Washington State. Hello, Mary. How are you today?
Good morning. I am doing well.
Great. What brings you to the program today?
Unlike maybe some of your listeners, I do not have very large accounts here and there, but I do have a situation where I'm currently 54 and I would like to be able to stop working in 5 years because I have aging parents and I have grandkids and I have people that need some care. So I would like to wait 5 years before I stopped working to ensure that I get a full pension.
Oh, I love full pensions. Tell us about the pension that you would get in 5 years.
Okay, so in 5 years, I would be able to collect my pension at age 62. So I still have a gap.
Okay.
But that's what I'm hoping to make it till.
Okay. And 62, what's the pension amount?
The pension, well, it's me and my spouse actually. So that would be $7,500 a month.
You and the spouse?
Yeah.
Each?
You both get pensions?
No, not each. Yes. We both get pensions.
Wait a minute. Did you fall in love on the job? Hold on a second. I got to get behind this. Let's go. Obviously, Mary's not her real name. Did you fall in love on the job or not?
No.
Oh,
we did not.
All right. $7,500 together a month in 5 years is when you're both eligible?
Yes.
Okay. How old is your spouse?
Same age.
Okay. So, and would the spouse also consider stopping in 5 years, or would spouse keep working?
Ideally, spouse would not keep working.
Ideally for who?
Everybody involved.
Okay. So, all right, so how much do you guys make now?
We make 178
together. 178. Okay. That's great. That's awesome. All right, let's go through some of this other stuff. Okay.
Yeah.
So because you have pensions, does that mean you haven't saved as much in a retirement account or in other ways?
Well, partly because we weren't making that much money before, but we do have some savings. We each have DCP accounts. So that's a 457 plan.
How much is in there?
Combined 280.
Okay. Any old IRAs or Roth IRAs floating around?
Yeah, we have a couple of pre-tax IRAs. There's about $24,000 total, and we're not actively funding those. And then I also have a Roth IRA that I just started it. It has $16,000 in it, and I'm contributing $500 a month to that.
Okay. All right. So, and
then we also have savings. Sorry.
Tell us about the savings.
So the savings are 175 just in a money market account.
What? 175 grand?
Yes.
Holy smokes.
We need to do something with.
Well, maybe you should have done something about 5 years ago, but okay. Is the money market earning a decent amount of interest?
2%.
Not as good as like 5, but okay. No. Better than 0.
And then we also have a CD that's coming due in November, which is probably going to be about 140.
What was the rate on that?
It was
or is
just 5%.
Great. Okay, that's awesome. Fantastic. Do you guys own a home?
Yes.
What's that? What is it worth about?
Probably 400.
Do you have a mortgage?
No, it's paid off.
Oh, I see that we don't like debt.
I don't like debt.
I hear it. I hear it. Any money that you guys are you helping out these aging parents? You know what I mean? Like, do you feel like you have to do that? And is it happening already?
No, it's not. It's not monetary.
Okay. It's just like physically, I got to take care.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, here's a critical question that we can try to figure out together. How much money do you spend right now? Like, what do you think? What are your needs in terms of income?
Annually, we don't spend a lot of money. So being conservative, I would say we spend $40,000 a year.
Okay. And that's it.
But we don't have any medical costs. So that will change.
So what happens when you stop in 5 years? What is the plan for healthcare coverage?
That's what you're about to tell me, isn't it?
Well, okay. Yeah, I mean, you can go to healthcare.gov, right? And you'll buy it. And so what we should say is that for the annual 40 grand, we're going to pop that number up because you really need more like probably 50, right? 55 just to be safe. Okay.
Right.
So that's what I think would be smart to at least count on. Okay. So that means when you're 59, so we have like kind of two different triggers, right? 59, you stop working. And at that point, you cannot collect your pension, right?
Right.
So we have 3 years where, it's funny, you won't have income. You might actually even qualify for tax credits when it comes to getting healthcare.gov. Because you're not.
Yeah, I was wondering about that.
Yeah, so it may be. I'm telling you, it's $1,000 or $1,200 a month, but maybe it won't be. Maybe it'll be less than that. But we have to spend some of your money down, right? Because in 5 years, we have to make sure that you've got some money socked away. So 59. So we need like 3 years. We need like 200 grand that's set aside for that, and you have that between your savings and your CD already. Right. So that's good. And then are you contributing anything to the 457 right now or not?
Yeah. $1,900 a month. And I don't know if I should boost that or not. And then there's also
keep going. No, you go.
Well, I was going to say there's also a new option to do a Roth with that. So that's my other question.
So what I would do is do the Roth for sure.
Okay.
You know, you don't have a lot of tax benefits from that, but long term, it's going to be better for you. And I would stop doing your $500 of your Roth IRA, your $500 a month in your Roth IRA, and I would just shift your $1,900 a month and put it in your 457 Roth.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep.
But when you say, you know, by the way, I didn't actually read your email, which was so fabulous because it was the subject. You ready? Can I retire when I want, or am I hallucinating? You're not hallucinating, but it was funny. You said like, oh, I don't have $1 million saved for retirement. To be clear, to create consistent income of say $7,500 a month that you're going to get from those pensions, that would be as if you had a lot of money saved. You know what I mean? Like it would be as if you had like $2.5 million saved. That's what, so when you say I don't have $1 million, it's as if you do. We'll get back to Mary in just a second. If you've got a question, go to our website, JillOnMoney.com. We'll be right back.
Back to Jill on Money, where Jill Schlesinger helps you take the mystery out of your finances.
You're back. It's Jill on Money, the program that helps you make better or less bad financial decisions, but we do so without judgment. We just want to help you get where you'd like to go. So if that's you, go to our website, JillOnMoney.com, and click the Contact Us button. It's very easy to do. While you're there, sign up for our free weekly newsletter. It comes out every Friday. It's so helpful, and Mark does a great job with that. You can also sign up for our service called Jill on Money Live, where you'll have access to quarterly live webinars, bonus video content for 12 months, all for the bargain basement price of $35. Right now, let's get back to Mary, who's on the line from Washington State. Is it possible that when you each retire, that you would ever do any part-time work or not?
Yeah, I mean, we've talked about that. I am imagining that that's probably maybe essential.
I'm not sure it's essential. I'm not sure because again, we talk about two triggers. So 59 is when you stop working. So we've got 3 years where you've got to spend down a bunch of your savings. Okay. That's just going to happen. You're going to have to do that. And when you stop contributing to your Roth IRA, because you're going to use your retirement Roth option, you could just keep building up your savings and CDs. You can do that. Okay. And we're going to talk a little bit about what to do with your savings also. But you know, we're going to earmark this as money you need from 59 to 62. Then 62 hits and $7,500 a month will do it. Like that's going to be great for you guys. That's going to pay most of your bills. And then your next trigger is Social Security. Are you both entitled to Social Security?
Yes.
Do you know what those numbers look like at 67?
It's at 67, it's 5,000 combined.
Great.
And at 70, it's 6,500.
Fantastic. So what we're really talking about is you're not hallucinating at all. Okay. But that you are, this is available to you. I think that as you sort of your big picture is stop putting money into pre-tax, use the Roth option. Extra cash flow that you guys have should go into, let's call it non-retirement investing savings. Okay. Now you don't have a brokerage account, and I'm just because you have this $140,000 CD coming due, plus the money in the savings account. I'm hearing through the lines that you don't like risk too much, right?
Yeah, I'm not super.
In other words, you don't want me to say, oh, you should open a brokerage account and be a balanced investor. Like, you don't want to hear that.
I'm open to suggestion.
Okay, so the CD is coming due in November. What if you took some of the money that's in savings right now? I just want to do a quick check of something. I'm interested in seeing if we can lock you in for a 5-year CD, earning some more money, because I'm hearing you don't like risk. I get it. And I'm not in the business of trying to figure out how to make you riskier. I don't want to do that. So I'm just looking here. I went to depositaccounts.com. Okay. And what I did was, this is an aggregation site. These CDs, right? This is a 6-year CD is going to pay you 4%. Okay. And I feel like for you, maybe it would be really smart for you to shove a bunch of money in for a 6-year CD. Like maybe you do, like, of your savings, maybe you put 50 grand in a 5-year CD and 50 grand in a 4-year CD. And we call this is a ladder. Okay. And I think that this is something that you should be kind of feeling okay about, because you're locking in a rate that's more than what you're getting now, right? For your savings. If you had to get it, of course you could get it. There's penalties and stuff like that, but you could. And you also have this other CD coming due in November. We can't do anything about that, but shouldn't we try to get you in a situation where you're still working right now? You don't need this money. You don't really want to invest it. I hear that. If you want to just say, I want my 3 years of my annual expenses socked away, right? So when you 60, 61, and 62, that we have your 3 years set aside, you need 150 grand. So why not take of your savings, take 50, 50, 50, and maybe do a 6, a 5, and a 4-year CD and call it a day and not freak out too much.
I like it.
You like that better? Because I think I don't want to, you're going to be invested through your retirement accounts, right? And you're going to keep doing that. And I think that that's fine. But when the CD comes due, I guess the bigger question there is whether you want to renew that or not. But maybe you just want to maybe what you want to do is the money in the savings account. Is it just in a bank, or is it in where do you hold your Roth IRA?
Roth IRA is with Schwab.
Well, can't you go to Schwab and get a better rate on your money market than 2%?
Yeah, the money market isn't with Schwab.
Yeah, that's crap.
It's just a bank.
Yeah, it stinks. So maybe when the CD is due, that's kind of replenishing your savings, right? So maybe what you do is you see where rates are. Rates are going to go down, okay? But maybe what you say is, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to replenish my savings because I'm telling you that you're going to take out of your 175, you're going to take 150 and build a little mini bond ladder for yourself. Okay. 50, 50, 50. And then what you're going to do is, and listen, if you want to where does your CD through your bank?
Yeah.
Well, you can talk to them. You can ask them what they have, what's available. And if you don't want to go search, but you can search online. So you're going to have 25 left. The CD comes due. And then at that point you say, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to take 25 out of that CD and I'll put it in my savings account that's earning my rotten 2%, or maybe not. Or maybe you're just going to go to Schwab and open up a brokerage account and throw the money in a money market account there.
Okay.
But you want it to be, I get that you want this to be safe. In 5 years, you will not be delusional. You will have the money you need. You're not going to touch the 457. You're not going to touch your Roth IRA or your Roth 457. We're going to spend down your savings and your CD when you do retire. And then at age 62, when you're collecting your pensions, life will be good. And then at 67 or 70, depending on what's going on for you guys, then we'll make a decision about when to claim.
Okay.
How does that sound?
It sounds good. I was imagining that maybe the CD money would go into some kind of investment account.
Maybe if you're not too wimpy. I don't know.
I don't know if I'm too wimpy or not. We also have, so currently the savings account is being funded by the rest of our paychecks. So that is getting $5,000 a month.
My God.
So would prefer it to not just be going in savings.
All right, then let's do this. So first and foremost, go to Schwab where your Roth IRA is held, open up a brokerage account. First things first, move the one and then you could just say, if you don't want to do a CD, that's fine. If you don't want to do my laddered CDs, but new money going into Schwab, you could just put it half in a stock index fund and half in a bond index fund. That's it. Very boring.
Okay.
And if you
that's what I like.
It's boring and it works. It will work. And let's see where things roll for you in 5 years. You know, maybe it's like, oh no, it's 6 years. Or maybe it's like you call us back in 3 years and you're like, I really need to stop right this second.
Mm-hmm.
And let's talk about that. So you're a new listener, but now you get an automatic entry to come back whenever it makes sense for you.
That's great.
Okay. Is that good?
Yes.
All right. Now, you guys have estate documents done or not?
We have wills.
Mm-hmm. That's good. That's a start.
And that's as far as we've gotten so far. But my deadline is the end of this year.
Oh, boy. You got a lot of deadlines, lady. All right. Hallucinating Mary, thank you so much. Get your estate documents done and good luck. If there's a big transition going on in your life and you need our help, just go to JillOnMoney.com.
Do I invest here? Should I put my money there? Jill Schlesinger can help you. Back to Jill on Money.
It's Jill on Money. Let's get to an email. Anonymous writes, I am fortunate to make a high salary in a high cost of living area. I also have a special needs child, and that changes the game in terms of savings for the future. She will definitely need help from us for her life. I'm only recently able to itemize medical deductions for care for my daughter, since it is now above the 7.5% of my AGI threshold. But that assumes a significant pre-tax retirement strategy. I am 56. My wife is 54. Our combined salary is $425,000 plus bonus and stocks. The bonus is about $100,000. Stocks, it varies, but it has been about $150,000 a year. I have $1.1 million in a traditional 401k, $320,000 in a rollover IRA, and another 401k, $10,000 in an HSA, $150,000 in a brokerage emergency fund. We just started to use Roth 401k contributions. Thanks to you, it's about $10,000 and growing. I max out my 401k and catch up every year. My wife does not have access to retirement plans. Right now, I have $210,000 in non-qualified deferred comp plans. I'm contributing 15% of my base salary and 30% of the bonus to the plan. And I've got distributions that are set to deliver equally 1, 2, and 3 years after separation. I am worried that my job may not be safe for too long. I expect to keep the role for at least another year, hopefully longer. My pension, wow, he's got a pension too, would be $11,000 a month if I were to work another 2 years and take my pension at 62. It does not grow much beyond that if I'm not working there, so I know I'm very fortunate. I plan to keep working as long as I can, hopefully until age 67, although I do anticipate my next role will be less compensation. I had a serious health concern a few years ago, and I'm okay so far, but I worry that I may not be an oldie oldster. I own a vacation home in another state tax-friendly place. We rent for the main residence. The value of the house is around $800,000. The mortgage is 2.86%. We owe $380,000. We did stop paying down early thanks to your show. Here's my question. Should I continue to fund the non-qualified deferred comp and generally continue to plan to switch to full Roth 401k in future years? I was able to itemize last year due to the medical costs putting us over the threshold. Switching to the Roth may challenge that a bit. And if I stop the NQDC, it would definitely challenge my AGI because my AGI will go higher. but I know I need to do more post-tax savings. I've been advised to convert the $350,000 IRA if I have a break in work or education and income if the market goes down. Do you agree with this strategy? Okay, first of all, here's what I want to just say. For the next year, do exactly what you're doing. There's no reason to change anything. Don't do anything. I like the idea that if the break occurs in a year and it makes sense to start to slowly convert, then great, do it. That's a great idea. And I think that it may be that converting might be the best idea for you guys because you have so much money in pre-tax assets. And I know you had your health scare, but your wife is only 54. It really would be nice for us to have that tax paid for way in advance, right, for her. But, I'm looking at kind of what you have, the million in the 401k. You basically have like $1.5 million bucks in a pre-tax environment, and only about looks like $150,000 in the brokerage emergency fund. So there's a couple of things to really consider. One is like, well, should I convert and soak up some of that brokerage emergency fund money, or should I just start to pull the money out of some of these pre-tax dollars out right now? And yeah, you could take the distributions, but I don't know if I would do that right away. I just want to see where you stand in a year. So here's what I really think. I think we should talk in a year. You should come on the program. I think do what you're doing right now for at least another year, because we just want to see how long this does last. And you don't have to put as much money into the non-qualified deferred comp. Maybe you can try to play with this a little bit just to beef up the non-retirement savings and investing a little bit. I do think that for this next year to get that extra tax benefit from the medical deductions, maybe it's important also to see like, well, what's this really worth? Am I spinning my wheels for small dollars versus a longer term impact of having this money available? Anonymous number 2. Question is, am I crazy to be investing in municipal bonds? I'm 53 years old. I'm married. I've got 2 kids in elementary school. Half of my net worth is in munis. And about, listen to this, $12.5 million, mostly in AAA Texas, so that's the municipality, long-term school bonds. And they earn an average of about 4.2%. That's amazing. The reason why I'm asking is that I don't know anyone else who invests in munis, and even the people I talk to at the brokerage firm don't know much about munis. And the brokerage's bond guy keeps telling me, how'd you find this great bond? It's making me a little nervous. The rest of my net worth is mostly in stocks, a heavy base of mega cap tech. We live relatively modestly. We'd like to make sure we have money for future generations. I love muni bonds, by the way. I really do. So let's just be clear about what is a municipal bond versus a regular taxable bond. So a municipal bond, it's like you're lending money to a state, in this case, Texas, or maybe it's New York City. It's usually used for people who are in a high tax bracket in a high tax state. And the interest income you receive would be exempt from federal taxes, state taxes, also local income taxes. And for that reason, since you're not paying any tax on the interest, usually municipal bonds actually pay less, have lower yields than taxable bonds. Now, I'm sure that when you talk to people and you say, wow, I've got a 4.2% bond, one question you may want to try to answer for yourself and for them is like, well, did I pay a premium for these bonds? In other words, you've got these bonds that are paying 4.2%. Did you buy them at a moment when Texas was issuing bonds at a very high interest rate? Or did you pay up for bonds that had a higher interest rate? Did you buy them at a discount? So I would be interested in learning a little bit more about the nature of the yield to the maturity. But generally speaking, if they're AAA rated, we don't think that Texas is going broke. I do think that this is a great strategy. I don't know how much other money you have, but if you had $12.5 million in Texas bonds and then you had another $12 or $15 million doing in other stuff, that's just fine. I think that would be fine with me. I'd love to talk to you on the air because I love municipal bonds. I live in a high tax state. I live in a high tax municipality, New York City, New York State. And so muni bonds can be really, really very powerful for people. Just remember that you've got to do a tax equivalent yield comparison between muni bonds and taxable bonds. That's on pretty much every company's website. Okay? You're listening to the Jill on Money Show, and we will be right back.
401ks, IRAs, refinancing, she covers it all. Back to Jill on Money with Jill Schlesinger.
Welcome back. It's Jill on Money. Here's an email from Victor, who writes, "This is a wonderful program. I'm a new listener. For the last year, my wife and I have been discussing retirement more and more. I will be 54 in November. My wife is 49. We want to retire when I turn 59 or sooner if possible. Our goal for retirement would be to move to Spain. That's where my family is from. That way we could be close to my parents as they go through their later years." That sounds kind of cool. All right, Victor goes on to write, "We envision living the rest of our lives there. However, we want to make sure we have enough money to live comfortably and travel, and we want to be able to see our kids whenever we would like." All right, so we've got 3 kids. The youngest is a junior in college. 2 other daughters are married and supporting themselves. Oh, bravo to you, Victor. Okay, together, my wife and I make approximately $275,000, and we contribute 15% to a traditional 401k. Okay, the combined 401k values $1.2 million. Only about $45,000 is Roth. We have a brokerage account with about $33,000, ETFs and mutual funds. We also have $100,000 in a high yield savings account. $600 a month is the number we commit to our brokerage account. And listen to this, we add $2,265 a month to our savings every month. Wow. Okay, the home is worth $345,000. They plan to sell that at retirement and buy a home for, let's say, about 250. Is that the right number? Yes, 250,000 in Spain. They have no debt. So this is a real downsize. It's pretty amazing, although it's going to cost a lot to move to Spain. Okay, current monthly expenses, around $11,000 a month. I believe we can easily get that down to $7,500 a month in Spain. I'm planning to take Social Security at 67, and I believe that it's about, let's call it $3,900 a month. My wife would start at 62, $2,369. Okay, here come the questions. Because we plan to move to Spain, anything in particular I should be looking for when looking at retirement planning? Do I need a person? Should I get someone now? Should I wait until retirement? Are we putting away money in the right places, correct amounts? I'm diabetic and 5 years older than my wife. So right now my concern is dying before my wife and the uncertainty that she would be okay financially. We do not have life insurance. Thanks for your time. Keep up the great work, Victor. Okay, let's go to the big picture, which is, do you need someone to help you with retirement planning? I don't know. I feel like there are a lot of moving pieces in this plan. So I would probably look for somebody. And I would look for somebody who is a fiduciary, somebody who has to put your interest before their interest. The thing that's interesting about your situation is you don't have a lot of money to manage. I think you're the perfect kind of client to pay somebody either for hourly advice or for a plan, like an isolated project. And, when you look ahead at what happens when you move to Spain, I think having a couple of different scenarios built out would be very helpful to you. Now, are you putting away the right amounts of money? Look, we're getting close to the end, right? You only have 5 years to go. I think that I might be interested in seeing if we could switch some of your money to Roth money. I know that you hate that idea because you make $275,000 a year and you're going to tell me you're in a high tax state and all that, but you have a lot of money that has been put away pre-tax already. So I don't know. I'm thinking that I might hedge my bet and start to put some money away into the Roth. Even if you could just split it, that would be great. I would go over that savings plan, maybe try to shift some of your money into that. You said you have savings, you have a bunch of money in high yield savings. I think maybe it all goes to brokerage right now. You're putting away, it looks like almost $3,000 a month. I don't know how much more you're going to need than that high yield savings account, because you're going to sell your house. You're going to have some, you're not going to have to pay any tax that's due. And you're going to have a little bit of extra money to pop into that high yield savings account for the move. So So I do think a planner, yes. I think putting away the money in the right places, I might shift to the Roth. I know that you don't have life insurance. Can you buy life insurance through work? That might be something that you would do. Maybe you buy more life insurance through work and make sure it's portable. Maybe you could take it with you. I would also be very careful about estate planning. If you are not going to be living in the United States, you should be working with someone on your documents to make sure you have the coverage you need. I don't know if you're a dual passport holder or what, but anyway, those are the things that come to my mind. Did I miss anything, Mark? I don't think so. I think that's about right.
Yeah, I mean, I'd have to dig into it, but it's no slam dunk.
No.
I know, they're spending $11,000 now. He says they're gonna go down to 7,500.
It's hard to.
That has to happen,
and it's also hard to see how that does happen. But he seems quite sure because of Spain.
Yeah,
now,
he knows it.
Yeah, but I don't know. You're very locked into 59. Obviously, the longer you work, the better the numbers get. So it's close. That's what we can say. And maybe it'll be even better. Maybe the numbers look even better if you were to actually consider that your house sells for more, like if your house is worth $350 and, he said they're going to buy a home in the $200 to $250 range. Well, if your house sells for closer to $400 and you're buying a home for $200, obviously these things do make a difference, right? Could you do any kind of work over there? Any part-time work? 59's young, man. I don't know, Mark. I'm really out. I am outside of the mainstream when it comes to these things. If you need our assistance, just go to JillOnMoney.com. You're back. It's Jill on Money, the program that tries to take the mystery out of your financial life. If you've got a question or you have a comment, just go to our website, JillOnMoney.com, and click the Contact Us button. While you're there, check out all of our content. It lives on the website. We've got a blog. We've got 2 podcasts. We've got videos. We've got a YouTube show. It's called Jill on Money, powered by the Compound. And we have a link to our Jill on Money live subscription service, where for $35, you have access to quarterly live webinars and special video content. So check that all out at JillOnMoney.com. Before we conclude the program, let's take an email. This is from Gordon, who writes, "Wouldn't it be better to teach oneself about finances instead of paying somebody for financial advice?" Oh, Gordon, of course it would be better, but not everybody can do that. And not everybody has the time or the experience or the expertise or the emotional fortitude to do that. This is really the reason why so much of the financial literacy movement has come under scrutiny, because it's just a really heavy lift for so many people to take in the information and then to be able to apply it appropriately. Of course, you're listening to a radio show that is focused on personal finance, which means the filter has already been narrowed. You're already showing interest in the topic. But for a lot of people, they just don't have that. And more importantly, many of them do need assistance. Now, if you're listening to this, I'm not saying don't teach yourself about finances. I'm not saying don't listen to our program. But if you really don't trust yourself, then it is important to find the right kind of financial help. And if that's something you are seeking, you should go to our website and look at the resources section and check out our blog post, The Questions to Ask Before You Hire a Financial Professional. If you would like to join us and ask a question, just go to our website, JillOnMoney.com, and click the Contact Us button. Okay, that's it. That is the program. We thank you so much for listening. Our music is composed by Joel Goodman. Mark Talercio is our executive producer, and we do remind you to try to lift someone up. Change your work, change your wealth, change your life. Thank you so much for listening, and we will be happy to talk to you next week.